10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And good morning, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to the Wednesday, January 5th, 2022 edition of Nevermind. Furthermore, smooth your sideburns down, Brian. Good Lord, are you raised in a barn? Yeah, well, probably. Anyway, glad to see you all here this morning. Hope your hump day is going well so far. And looking forward to new comic book day. See, there's always something to look forward to. It's just bedtime. Anyway, I hope you're having a great morning so far, and we'll try to make the next hour as good as we can. All right, first of all, we want to thank everyone for being here, whether you're watching on the live or on the rerun. It is greatly appreciated. And also, we appreciate Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when look at your book matters to you. When you've worked so hard to create an incredible book, you want a cover that'll help you sell that thing like hotcakes. Well, Jeffrey Hayes can do just that. He works for a number of independent press people. He is affordable on the indie level schedule, and he's also very, very talented. Did you see those book covers he did? Holy cats. Would you like one of those in front of your book? I know you would. I do. I'm working with him for that reason. Cookie says I can do that. Anyway, please check him out on his Facebook page, on Plasma Fire Graphics Facebook page. Then go over to plasmafiregraphics.com and contact Jeffrey directly and get his rate card. I think you'll be pleasantly astonished at his rates and the quality of his work. He is incredible. Anyway, check it out. It's at plasmafiregraphics.com. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. Also, we are a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please check out our Facebook page and see our other shows that are on, and you'll see a back catalog of what we've got going. And please check them out. And please subscribe to all of our YouTube channels and follow us on Facebook. You'll be glad you did, and so will we. We also want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators with a modest financial stipend. And these guys and gals, oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe how much we appreciate them. They help keep this show on the air and thriving. And thanks to them. And also, we're putting together some books this year from Rising Tide Publications. And their names are going to go in them, not just on this one card here. So check them out. And check out the people that have names on this card. They all have their own Patreon accounts, and many of them are offering you stuff in return for your financial support, just as we do. So please check them out. And if you want to see what we offer, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And without any further ado, or any of the ado that we've left behind, or anything that's on the morning grass, although it's too cold for it to be due outside, with worse weather coming in tonight, oh dear Lord. Anyway, hope you're staying safe out there, and let's get to your comments. First one in the door. First in the door. That's Michaela J. Mwah, darling. Glad you're here at 9:23. Watching us on YouTube, please check out her Monday night show, Tidbits and Scribbles. And Carl Witzman mocks her with her laughter. And Jimmy Lurchin to Bruin. Afternoon, sweethearts. Well, good morning to you, darling. Mwah, glad to see you here. Is it already afternoon there, Mike Jimmy? We got to remember, he and Glenn Fleming live in the future. and they know how the world will end before we do. So hopefully before the cataclysm starts, they'll email us and let us know what to expect. And 3:30 p.m., I'm 6 hours ahead of the Eastern time. So yeah, right now you're 4 p.m. You're 30. That's cool. Excuse me. And Michaela says, Carl Witzman, what you sent me, was that your new beginning building suspense for later? It's called pre-launch, and 7 ahead of Central here. And yep, about right, says Mike Jimmy. And while the chat will be rolling, I'll be inking another page for Life on Korra 6. A panel is taking about as much as a normal page, and I love it. Well, you're also working in that larger size too. Now, tell us why you're loving it. I'm seriously curious. Why are you loving working in the larger style, and the fact that it's, some people would look at this as it's slowing down production, but do you think it's adding to the pleasure of the illustration that you're doing, or that you think it's going to show up in the final product? I'm seriously interested. I really am, as a former artist myself. And 1427 UTC, I listen to shortwave radio. So we've got about 4 or 5 different time zones operating right now, and we are international, and that would be UK time, 1529 for me. Carl Witzman says, it's my belief that we will not progress any further as a species with time zones. Well, what is it? Isn't it China that has one time zone? I mean, seriously. Carl, there's something to be said for it. I definitely want daylight saving time to be over. I think that's ludicrous, and I think it is a dinosaur of a practice. The only thing that should happen is every 6 months, somebody should remind us to check the batteries in our smoke alarms. That's it. But otherwise, it throws off the body's rhythm. Once upon a time, it was useful, but now that we've become a 24-hour society, it is not quite as applicable as it was over a century ago when it was created. So I agree with you, and I could stand a lack of of time zones. Maybe some people, it's dark when you go to work and dark when you get home, but that's the way it is during the winter here in the Midwest. So anyway, Mike Jimmy says, to me, time is just set between awake and not awake. Otherwise, I'm just working 48 hours a day, 14 days a week. That's how I feel sometimes. And it doesn't help now, especially now that Cookie is working later hours. I've been looking into my biorhythms as of late, finding out when I am best suited to do what task. And I think it's from years of, working late, living on my own, even 30 years ago. Most of my creative energy comes at night. There is just something about the nighttime, the evening and the nighttime, that I feel this energy coming on. And it doesn't matter whether I live in a larger community like here or Champaign, Illinois, or whether I lived in Podunk, Georgetown, Illinois. Population, last I heard, we were about 3,100 or so. And I doubt it's growing, unfortunately. But we could be Vermilion Grove. That could be worse. And Carl and Carly or Donna are probably going, you're right. But anyway, it's figuring out when I'm feeling most creative. Like last night, I was editing this document, and I got into the couple nights this week. I've gotten into the zone on this thing, because editing is not one of my favorite things to do. Editing other people's work, I hate being critical of it, and unfortunately, I'm very good at it. So I'm told. But normally, if I get about 5 or 6 pages of somebody's work done per day, I'm doing good. Yesterday I got about 10, and because it takes so much concentration on my part, so I'm ready to become a Russian chess master at this point. So yeah, and even last night I got like about 10 pages of Glenn's book done, and about 3 of my own for a short story I'm doing for Stormgate Press. So. And I made coffee this morning. Anyway, yikes, take a break. That's what Cookie keeps telling me. I can take a break when I die. And you need not do what I love? Boy, you're getting the wrong impression about me. We're on the same wavelength, man. I tell you, I get some criticism from well-meaning friends who, like, Brian, you work too hard. Brian, you're doing too many things. Brian, you got to take some time, take some time. And I do take time during the day. I give myself some chill time. I have a couple video games I play on my iPad. I do a lot of reading. In fact, I'm trying to get at least one book a week done now, on the average. Um, and I'm reading shorter works. I get like two or three done a week, and that's in and around everything else I do, plus keeping up the house. I'm a house husband, and it's I agree. How can we not do what we love? And for a lot of us, that's gonna bring people home. That's gonna keep people home. And the way things are, I think right now. Well, actually, I see a comment later. I saw a comment later on that I think may address what I'm thinking of here. But the word is entrepreneurship, and if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That is true, or it is work. What we do, Carl, Carl will probably be the first to tell you, yeah, this is work. But it's work we love. I mean, I've had jobs I've absolutely adored. I have had. Sometimes it's for the people, sometimes it's for the work itself. But I'm with Mike Jimmy on this one. I am currently doing I'm doing the best job I can at the best job I've ever had. I mean, the pay could be a lot better, but by the same token, I'm enjoying it so much more, and I get to hang around with the coolest people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jimmy says, so they say, but I found doing what you love is 20% of what you love and 80% working on stuff so you can work on what you love. So I'll take that sacrifice. So, that's good, because I hear a lot of authors, I don't want to promote. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that, to make my business grow. That's beneath me. Well, no, it isn't. It's part of your job. And if you had a 9 to 5, there aren't things you do during that 9 to 5 that you love doing. I never have had that. And I've had some pretty decent jobs in the past. But there's always that, 80% of stuff that, you has to get done to keep the doors open. So Mike Jimmy, man, I am bursting with pride. I really am. That I know you because you're on the same wavelength I am. Seriously. And Carl agrees. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday, and your first week in 2022 is great. I'm having a pretty good week. Now, people around me are having some issues, but I'm also, this can be the year we make it, folks. This is the year we turn the corner. And I'm not just saying this. I've felt this way for 2 years. That there is an opportunity coming for each and every one of us on here who is creative. And it's going to be the moment we catch that lightning in a bottle. I think I'm going to make it this year. I think I'm going to turn a corner. And I've turned so many good ones. It's just our year, people. Be ready to pounce on it. Start working now on it. Don't let yourself get depressed. Don't let yourself listen to, what did he call? I just finished reading Becoming Superman by J. Michael Straczynski. And it's a fascinating book. It's probably one of those fascinating autobiographies I've ever read about how he grew up being mentally and physically abused. His father was a con man. His mother was alternated between emotional distance and being a punching bag for her father or for her husband. The relatives were most of the immediate relatives were off to a degree or another. And his father especially was a sadist. And we find out that he came over from the old country in the 30s. The old country was Germany. And this gives you clues to where the book is going. And it's how Straczynski turned all that negativity into becoming someone incredibly positive. Now, being positive doesn't mean you don't have dark feelings. I wrestle with anger issues. like, not many people know this, but I do wrestle with depression and anger issues. And I saw a little bit of myself in this book, but it is totally fascinating. And I do recommend it. If you enjoyed his other book, which I have recommended greatly, Becoming a Writer, Staying a Writer, you will love Becoming Superman. It is incredible. And he covers himself in glory by the end of it. He's had an incredible career. Anyway, Teresa Dunn, good morning, Brian, and all creative people. Have a great day. You too. Mwah. Teresa was another one that was having a midi Sunday, as you could think of it, yesterday or 2 days ago, and she came through it. She's come through it, and she's got a couple challenges coming up ahead. Please send Teresa some positive energy, okay? And sorry, Teresa, I was off getting coffee. Good morning, and good morning to Grant Lankard. Hope you're doing. And just found out my brother tested positive for COVID. Oh no, wish I could go a week without getting bad news. I would love it if any of us could, But the thing is, man, much love to your brother, man, and keep us posted, please. All right, we do worry. But all we can do is keep moving forward and rising. All right, and good morning, Donna, Carly, mwah, good morning to see you. Good to see you this morning. And sorry, Grant, I agree, Carl. Sorry to hear that. Oh, damn, hope he goes through it without too many issues. Sorry to hear that, man. Seriously. And, the thing is, I've had this feeling, and it's weird, it's getting closer. The first year of COVID was like, at least in my circle, seemed to be happening beyond people I knew. And then last year, especially with, like Randy Zimmerman and Luke Stone and David Anthony Kraft and Brian Hawkins, and even the first year, was somebody I knew that got it really, really bad. But he's still with us. A couple of people aren't. And, just we'll be thinking about you, Grant. Prayers will be coming up for you soon. Anyway, it's just like I've narrowly missed being exposed at so many points, or I have been exposed, and either I'm asymptomatic or I've shrugged it off. But man, we are feeling for you, Grant. Please keep us posted. And Skunkcracker, good to see you, brother. And I was going to say good morning every morning, but now Grant shared his bad news. It doesn't seem appropriate anymore. Man, I hope your brother gets better, dude. So do we all. But Skunk, we are so glad you're here. And really seems like everybody I know is in or out of the hospital I know lately. Well, I am healthy. I drink coffee. And don't let it stop you, Grant. You've got a legacy to leave, man. Keep working. And Ted Davies says, good morning, all. Good morning, Ted. How you doing? And Rick Bradley, good morning, evermore. It's Rick Bradley. How are you doing? Good to see you. And good morning to our Facebook user. Always a pleasure to have you here. And Scott Corker says, I also want to say today, if you have not downloaded Wombo AI to your phone yet, do so. It is the most fun AI apps I've played with yet. Okay, I'm writing that down. Oh, I see you're going to explain it. But yeah, because I'm going to be shopping for a phone this week, my old phone. It takes forever to get going, and plus I've picked up somewhere a hijacker program that basically it opens up with, instead of the app I want to use, it opens up with a random website, usually sales. And I want to get rid of it. If anyone's got any suggestions, I would welcome it. I have it's a 400-year-old Moto 5, I think it is. It's old. It is old. And I was having trouble with it down at Dalton, Georgia, HoloCon. But anyway, let me write this down. Wombo AI. Okay, thank you, Skunk. Appreciate that. Always appreciate good stuff. Skunkcracker continues. Basically, you give it some keywords in an art style and it creates art for you. It's very abstract and surreal, but it's really fun if you're bored. My favorite thing to do with it is give it the keyword geyser, followed by just random nouns, and see what happens. Oh, I know what geyser is. Notice I knew how to pronounce it. Very interesting. And Damian Waldron, from whom all great coffees flow, sir. Thank you. And Cookie loves the tea. I forgot to thank you for this on Christmas. Thank you and Lauren, but we love the tea, love the strainer, love the coffee. That is some of the best coffee I've had in ages. Anyway, salutations, fellow humans. What? Nothing for me? It's the midweek hump day, as it were, and it were. If you remember nothing today, remember this: 7 by 10 to the power of 40A against. That's the possibility you exist. Make the most of it. That is, yeah. All of us may not have been the fastest swimmer, if you know what I mean. That's something to think about, and that is something. There is a section in there, in Becoming Superman by J. Michael Straczynski, where he looks back at his career and times when he really screwed the pooch as far as, maintaining a career, as it were. And he also has some things that I didn't know I was doing that has helped me. Something I can't remember what he calls it exactly, but it's like the visiting prince, But anyway, yeah, he has a section about like surviving his parents was 1 in a million. Getting somebody to pick up his script for an animation series was 1 in a million. Getting his own program like Babylon 5, that was beyond 1 in a million. And so he figured out his career odds of getting this far and thriving actually were like something like 6 with about 40 zeros behind it. So yeah, that's always good to remember. We are here, and there is a reason why. And Carl Wisman says, nice, skunk. And Skunk Parker says, because certainly everybody wants to see the H.R. Giger interpretation of mundane things like apples, pickup trucks, telephones, body parts. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, thank you, Skunk. Thank you so much. I'm once I get my phone, I am loading that on there. That sounds like such a cool program. And Mike Jimmy Lordship de Bruin says, why I love it? There's so much space to enjoy the inking process, and it just creates so much depth to the work. Well, I could see that. That was one of the reasons I was told that, like, the comic artists of the up to the late 60s liked the twice up rather than the 50% up that most of us work in now. That you could put in the same amount of work and it would look so much more detailed. I mean, you look at the cover of Fantastic Four #1 by Jack Kirby. You look there and, it's not cookie cutter architecture. Look at the backgrounds. It's not cookie cutter architecture, but you see bricks in the wall. You see windows that don't look the same. It wasn't like cross hatching like Vince Coletta used to do, but I can't remember if it was Dick Ayers or George Klein who inked that cover, but you see all the little details in that is missing even from Kirby's work about 8 years later. So yeah, okay, thank you, Mike Jimmy. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the insight there. That's really cool to know. It really is. And yes, I've done the fastest name in one run. I don't doubt that a bit, sir. I really don't. And good morning, Eric Hawkins. Good morning, brother. Hope you are doing well. Please join us tomorrow on Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. We are going to be talking comics, and just talking. It's a lot of fun. You'll love it. And go like the show, friends. Yes, please. If you are watching us on YouTube, please like this show. Or wasn't I saw somebody post something like, smash that bell, and when or smash that thumbs up, and please rip apart that subscribe, and when the bell comes up, do unspeakable things to it. Okay, that helps a lot. And Nicholas Talker, good to see you, my brother. Good morning, Nevermorians. How are all your projects coming together, folks? I want a progress report from you, buddy, but mine are coming together. I've got a story for Stormgate Press that I'm working towards my next edit. I'm also editing something for Glenn B. Fleming that I've got. What did I find? Let's see. I've got about 25 pages left to edit. Due to the nature of the work, it's not going to be. I'll be done tonight. So, and like I said earlier, it takes so much concentration on my part to find the errors. And I'm not looking for errors, but I want the ones that pop up at me, and to make certain decisions regarding the work as editor. That if I get 5 pages a day of usual book editing done, I feel it's been a good day. But I've had a couple days this week. I got 10. I had a couple days off, but I've forgotten like about 10 pages of editing done, which I feel is pretty good. So, pray for Glenn. He's in the arms of Dr. Tough Love. So anyway, Nick, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Rick Riley. I have an idea for that link you sent me. I'll message you with it when I go to lunch. It's about something you really like, so you'd be the perfect person to talk to. That's complimentary and mysterious at the same time. Well done, Rick. And Rick, I was telling Rick last night to create, be fearless in what he does. Just, a little attaboy sort of thing. And I said, to quote one of my favorite comics, remember a man, said, you've got nothing to, and this is good. I think this is going to be good advice for all of you. Remember, you have nothing to lose by being creative. You have absolutely nothing to lose. And a person with nothing to lose is a person without fear. And Rick, I meant to write you this morning and tell you, I'm glad you got the reference. And Molly Daniels, mwah, darling, how you doing, sweetheart? Love you. Hope you're doing all right. And Hawkins, who has reason to sing the blues this morning? 2022 is already a turd. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, the Mythbusters prove you can polish a turd, and that's what I'm working on my own work right now. Anyway, Molly Dale says was going to come to Lafayette today, but the projected wind gusts and falling temps insisted I stay home till next week. Yeah, I think it's supposed to get better towards the weekend, which is good because we're going to visit Cookie's friend. We are customizing her new laptop for her, and that was a pain in the ass and a half. Somehow they'd taken Windows 11, who I don't know who did it. Somewhere along the line, somebody made Windows 11 have half the functionality of Windows 7. It was frightening. But yeah, and I've got to go out today, and I was hearing the wind outside when I woke up this morning. It was pretty effing impressive. We have a wind chime. It's actually I think a beer bottle. A friend of ours did some decoupage and put some Superman stuff on the outside and a little ball inside. So when it shakes, it ding 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 ding, and it was ringing like a fire alarm this morning. So it's like, oh crap, we're gonna die. But anyway, after the show's concluded, we are going to do our runs before the temperature really terrifyingly drops, and sending prayers, Grant, as do we all, Grant. And please send some to Eric too. He probably won't say it, but he could use some, and you're welcome, Grant. And Eric Hawkins says, I have a Samsung Note 8 and have loved it the last 4 years, no issues. I only cracked the screen this past summer, and I'm finally going to get a new one. I think I have a 4. I bought it refurbished from Ting.com, which, by the way, I will give a shout out to. I love Ting. Ting will save you a crap ton of money because, especially if you don't use your phone that much like I do, you are charged a small service fee for using the service, basically paying the office people. But you only pay for the data and the phone time that you actually use. And you get a reduced rate. When I signed up with Ting, it's several years ago now. And within about 6 months, they sent me a notice saying, well, thank you for your service. Thank you for being part of our crew. And by the way, we're going to reduce your phone rates. So I got a break on my phone rates, and you can get Sprint / T-Mobile and Verizon on there, your choice. You can keep your old phone number, and they have 24/7 in-house services. That means if some people have trouble listening to accents, foreign accents, and without trying to sound racist about this, if you have trouble, this is the thing. Some people cannot process foreign dialects, and all their stuff is pretty much American. So it's really great, to deal with them. But the only time I had an issue was I changed over the phone. I changed over my phone service. I went from Sprint to T-Mobile. one night, and I happened to be on a podcast one night, and I am driving down this country road, hands free, and I'm on the show, and then suddenly Ting switches me in the middle of the show to my new service, and I'm like, ah. So that was a challenge, but that wasn't their fault. But no, they've been very helpful, and you can buy phones inexpensively there. I'm looking to get something the next week or so to get myself a new phone. But anyway, I do recommend Ting. But yeah, I think I have like a Moto 4. I bought it. Oh, just after we moved into the house. That's about a little over 5 years ago. So, but like I said, it's starting to show its age. Like I said, I've got that hijacker program. I don't seem to be able to do anything about, and it's just slowing down overall. It's never been a really fast phone, but I want to get something, and it doesn't get 5G, and I really need to get 5G because I take credit cards. So anyway, Molly Daniels got the mock-up of my children. You have preliminary children? What? Oh, anyway, children's book last night, but the wrong name is credited on the cover. Got to fix that before I share the cover. Otherwise, it looks great. Well, cool. Molly, I like the last book you put together. That's great. And you pronounced it wrong. What? It's Geyser, not Geyser. Well, that's the way I heard it pronounced. So there. And Americana has come to visit us. And let's see. Has Carl gotten to him yet? Oh, thank you, Carl. Thank you for taking care of Emmerich. Emmerich is Emmerich Hanna he short sheets people's beds in hospitals, and not to be put up with. And Scott Crocker says it's certainly not Geyser. Well, fooey on you, Scott. I'll pronounce it how I want. It's Billy Bob. So there. And Coffee and Pages on the way this weekend. I'm just saying, okay, good. Looking forward to it. Because it'll probably come in time. I'll finish with Glenn's book, and then I'll get your stuff. That will work out. Thank you, Ted. Looking forward to it. And since the chat is nice and active, be sure to sign up for Life on Core number 5, launching next week Friday, says Mike, Jimmy, Lordship of Bruin. Awesome variants, plushies, and tons of goodies. You need plushies, people. Get this stuff. I need to get on that. What you sent me for our comic book Spectrum a few months ago, I really dug. It's just that Cookie has me on a budget. She figured out my my Kickstarter budget for 2020. She wasn't very happy with me. Anyway, please show Mike Jimmy Lordship of Bruin some love here. It is good stuff. It's beautiful. It really is, and he's so talented and such a wonderful person. Mike Jimmy, you make me smile. You really do. And everyone, please tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern Thursday for the newest comic book podcast, Comics Unlimited. Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davies host this thing. Check it out. And Nicholas Tucker, this week I'm focusing on games, the base +2 RPG, the engine for the hybrids RPG, which I endorse. Core Rulebook, which will be a modern game system, and Dusk Falls Over Ravencleft Gorge, an RPG adventure setting. And oh man, that's exciting. I love looking at role-playing game books, even though I haven't played in one, except for the thing you and Luke and I did that a while back. And I know you made the offer. We do appreciate it. We will take you up on that, Nick. And only Nick and I know what that is here. But no, and I may, we will talk. And he's also working on something from the desk with a small press publisher, Joe D. McPhee, on one of his properties. And, I'm thinking maybe give you a good challenge. We will have to come to terms, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Glenn B. Fleming, good morning, my brother. How are you? Hey, Brian, looking forward to your surgery on my words. Gulp. Well, yeah. No, it's not bad at all. Just to ease the pain, Glenn. I am editing one of Glenn's former publications, and it's one of those things where I'm seeing things that sometimes you get too close to the work to see. Which is why you should get editors, people. You don't think you could edit yourself. You're not that sexy. Believe me. when you see people like Amy Hale and Kathy Jackson and Carl Wisman and Donna submit Michaela submit their books to others, that's a clue. Okay, they're great writers, and they still want somebody else to take a look at it. There's your clue right there. But no, I'm enjoying the book, and I'm hoping I will have it before the beginning of next week. But no, I got into the zone a couple days, and I did have a couple days off, due to other things happening. But no, I think you'll appreciate the surgery. It's coming through, and I'm trying to keep as much of your original style as possible. That's one of the things that I think a good editor does. They don't rewrite the book to be in their style. They are mindful of the original style. So anyway, Rick Bradley says it isn't pronounced Guy Gear. Yeah, it is. It's pronounced Guy Gear in the South, the deep South, like so deep you need a snorkel to get there. Anyway, good morning, my fellow Brian and Nevermorians. Says Brian Rodman. Hope you're feeling better today, brother. Let us shake off the Monday monster and travel the first hump of 2022. New year, new me. No, new year, same bearded silliness. That's what we tune in for, brother. And did you guys not have a broadcast last night, Brian? Did I miss it? Because I tuned in late and I couldn't find it. So anyway, but he'll be on Comic Book Spectrum tomorrow night, and that's always fun. Okay, getting back to it. Have a great day. I'll be safe. Much success. Dead Day reserves for you too, brother. Have a good one. Much love to you and Chrisers. And let me filming. Yeah, Comics Unlimited podcast tomorrow at 10 a.m., 3 p.m. here in God's own country with Ted Davies and some other guy. Well, that other guy makes the show. So there. And no, Brian, the G's are hard. Dude, that's a personal thing. I don't want to hear it, skunk. I really don't. I don't want to be, phobic about anything, but I just don't need to know that the G's are hard, And hey, if you want to pronounce it wrong, fine by me. I'm trying to help. I'm digging my heels in, skunk. I refuse to admit defeat. And days off, what's that? That's that thing other people have, Glenn. It's like I constantly tell people when I got fired from the water company 10 years ago this year, by the way, 10 years ago next month. I traded a 40-hour a week job for one that takes up every waking moment of my life, and I've never been happier. So anyway, yeah, days off are the things that the Mondays have, the 9-to-5ers, the Hammond Jaegers, Carl Westman says, what is this editor thing that you speak of? Everything I write comes out perfect on the first draft. Carl, does it hurt when your nose grows like that? It's got to, because you lying, boy, you lying. And see, Rick Bradley had it right. You guys are ganging up on me. And Ryan Burmison says, Share, thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Mike Jimmy says, no one respecting themselves can say that with a straight face, Carl. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's why Carl grew that beard so that he can, say, total bull crap like that. And Stu can't tell that he's grinning under there. And Ryan Purvis says, good morning, Nevermorians. How are you? I'm doing well. Excellent. Got tons of books and movies in this week. Can't wait to read and watch them all. Yeah, I saw you had a couple of my recommendations in there. I think you're going to dig them. And like I said, I keep this one handy because there are times I need a pick-me-up, and that book does it. It really does it. And remember, and you also will find a term in Becoming Superman from Harlan Ellison that what we do is a holy chore. Boy, if that doesn't put two words, it doesn't put this writing in perspective, I don't know, and creating in perspective, I don't know what does. Ryan says, subscribe to the Nerd Culture today for more great nerdy content, and hard G's put caps in your keister, meester. I don't want to hear about G's getting hard and my keister. You know what I'm saying? And Glenn B. Filming are referring to Geiger, the alien creator, hard G's, both of them. I've heard it both ways, and I think the guy's pronouncing his own name wrong. I think there ought to be a movement for that. And David Walter and Geiger like the Geiger counter, a Geiger counter. Well, he counts. He's like the count on Sesame Street. Brian Robin says, so I'm just tumbling down the H.P. Lovecraft rabbit hole. Don't we all? What a glorious world to work in. I've loved his works for so long, but never sat down and read through everything. My goodness, it's amazing. I'm also walking through his works in chronological order while being guided by the H.P. Lovecraft Literary Podcast. This is such a fun way to engage his stuff. I've never done that. I think I've read just about everything he's done, plus some of the ancillary stuff by Clark Ashton Smith and Robert E. Howard and Robert Bloch. But I don't think I've ever done it in order. That's fascinating. And the thing is, I've looked at, like the evolution of certain characters like Superman, Batman, The Shadow, Doc Savage in chronological order and seeing how they've evolved. But I've never done that with the works of Lovecraft. That sounds fascinating. That sounds really cool. Ryan Permiston talks about other cool stuff. Join him Thursday live at 8 p.m. for Boba's Weekly Bounty with special guest star James Shimo from the movie Trivia Schmodown. Oh, cool. And join Ryan Saturday at noon Eastern for the season premiere of And I Quote with writer and documentary filmmaker Glenn B. Fleming. I know that guy. I know him. And who cares? His art is amazing. And then apparently I have no frame of reference for how this is pronounced, Damien, so I'm sorry. Anyway, Ryan Permisson says if you want to be a guest on And I Quote, they're live on Saturdays at noon, but they can pre-record if you want. And there's a great conversation and chance to promote your work. So definitely go there. You will have fun. And Brian Robin, my Eden Falls series is heavily influenced by Lovecraft. I love Lovecraft. I mean, if nothing else, it gets you to think about otherworldly things. I seem to recall like one passage about in one of Lovecraft's stories about is like this giant room with no shadows and no corners that just this alien architecture that just rattled my noggin so much. And there's just so much cool things there. And also it's best if you have a great storyteller, but there is a role-playing game called Call of Cthulhu that is absolutely wonderful. I got in with a really good, Cookie and I both played this for a couple of years with some friends back in Illinois. And we had a terrific game master. And it was kind of funny because in most games, your health is your physical health. And while it's a factor in Call of Cthulhu, you also have a stat for sanity. Excuse me. It's when your sanity drops below a certain level, you're irrevocably insane and you have to create a new character. And the funny thing was, my character, I wanted him to be like the square jaw hero. Almost like a paladin, but not quite so obsessive. But it was always funny because we always said that this was a great role-playing game because I always wound up being the most sane out of the group by the end of the adventure. And I think the least stable member of the players wound up being, sane. I've always found that amusing. And bring Cookie home. That's the goal. That is the goal. Thank you, brother. And Brian Robin says, sadly, we did not have a Dingoes last night as I was ill. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to announce it, but I totally dropped the ball. Sorry about that. No, that's fine. But I'm feeling much better today, so Comic Book Spectrum will be a blast this week. It will be fun. We shall have fun. And how long is your work in progress list, folks? Asked Nicholas Tockert. I've had so many partial projects yelling at me that it can be challenging to prioritize. Mine are mostly, I've got quite a hefty list that, frankly, I'm already pushing things into 2023. Okay. But I definitely want to get, I've got 3 books I want to write. I've just had an opportunity to write a second for another publisher with a concept that is exciting. And by the way, people, check the public domain stuff. Go on Wikipedia and or I could find it sometime for you all. But new stuff has come onto the public domain, such as Winnie the Pooh. As long as you don't use the Walt Disney illustrations, you're in the clear. Now, there were illustrations that were unique to the original publications that, Disney will probably still sue you, but, that's the way Disney is. But anyway, but no, you can now use the Pooh characters, at least from the first book. the first book is free and clear. I can't. I think A.A. Milne had more than one Pooh book. I think. I know I've had more than one Pooh, but anyway. But no. I've got a whole bunch of partial projects like Aquatic and Volcana 2. But I have made my Volcana 2 will happen this year. Plus, I've got a couple of books I've agreed to write for other people that have to come because they have production deadlines. A few short stories. One will be due in the spring that I haven't started writing, but I've got the plot down for it and a green light for it. So yeah, my goal. One of my goals this year is to clear my plate somewhat and work on new projects. And I also want to work on a sequel to The Terrors because the more I delve into that universe intellectually, the more I'm digging it. And I think you'll see when The Terrors comes out. I think most of you here will enjoy it very much. Anyway, moving on, Ryan Permisson says the top 10 episodes that I quote countdown continues with independent writer and publisher Brian K. Morris. I saw that. I watched that again last night. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for the honor, Ryan. I'm glad to be in your top 10. And Mike Jimmy Lorson de Bruin says, currently I only have one work in progress, Nick. Several projects I got to manage, but only one life on Cora to work on by myself. And that's cool. Molly Daniel says, my current works in progress stands at 6. That does not count the ones that haven't worked on it. I haven't worked on it in over 10 years. And one of the things I'm probably going to work on in 23, I had an idea that was inspired by a book from 1894 that I read. It wasn't the best book I've ever read, but I fell in love with the concept of the main character who was a phony medium buster. Spiritualism was very heavy in the late 1800s and in the early part of the 20th century. It was practically a religion unto itself. But there were many people who used carny tricks to fool people into giving them money in exchange for talking to their dead loved ones, etc., or experiencing ghosts. And Harry Houdini did this for a while. And when he realized that he was bilking innocent people, he gave it up and became a crusader to stop them. Whereas one of his best friends, Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, bought into it completely, and the two of them were diametrically opposed on how they stood on spiritualism, and it did drive a wedge between them eventually. But it was kind of funny that the creator of Illusions was trying to drive home the facts about it, while the creator of the most logical man in the history of literature up to that point, he fully had faith in it. So but anyway, it's an odd pairing there. But yeah, there was a character from a book called a Master of Mystery that I like the basic concept, but I didn't think they went far enough with it, and I want to create my own amped up version of that. Ryan Permisson says, finally saw Highlander. I really enjoyed it. Sword fights, Raiden, Lex Luthor, James Bond, and Queen. What more do you need? Yeah, it's a fun movie. The first one is the best, I think. The sequels were fine, but the first one was absolutely the best. Ooh, Rick Bradley, I believe I'll have to check that out then. And ouch, yeah. And Rick Bradley, spoiler alert, there is an elder god asleep near Eden Falls they created. Granted, it's not much of a spoiler. It was going to be revealed pretty early in the next book. I'm sure it was. And Damien Waldron, work in progress. I just made my to-do list done. Okay, then you're done for the year. Congratulations, Damien. Mine's not a to-do list. It's more like a gotta get done list. Otherwise, Madam Executive Producer will ride me like I'm in the Preakness. And like Jimmy Lorson de Bruin, I would love to restart my graphic novel project, but I'd have to lose the side job for that, so I'd have the time. Maybe one day, Mike. One day, my friend. Keep the faith. And Heartsong, 6 years overdue. Riker's Redemption, going on 2 years. Defending Your Life, just need to get it published. Time Travel Trilogy, need to write number 2. Rockstar and sequel to Western. I started a novel with the character that I mentioned earlier. Excuse me. But I hit a dead end because I was pantsing it, and I didn't have the control over my craft as I do now. Excuse me, constantly writing will do that for you. But I've got that, Volcana 2, and Aquatic, all three of which I've started, but I stopped along the way. Now Aquatic consists of a very bad first draft, and it took me about a year to realize what was wrong with it. I started in the wrong place. Should have started, I spent too much time world building, which is important. But what will happen is I'll probably serialize that first draft in my Patreon page. Whereas the Terrors is a first draft that works. Aquatic will probably be presented as a first draft that does not quite work. It'll be a learning lesson. And while that took the bots long enough, nearly 45 minutes this time, I know. I hate to think they're ignoring me, right? And right now, my work in progress list is 3 items long. Oh, what's it like? What's it like, I ask you? And Brian Rahman says, well, The Midnight Mason and the Mysterious Adventures of Eula McDowell are both heavily steeped in Lovecraft. Memoirs of an Angel is also tumbling deeper into that universe as we continue. So knowing I was going that direction, I had to dive deep into his works and mythos so I could use it well. Definitely doing my own thing with the mythos, but want to be as respectful as possible. Most excellent. Yeah, and don't you find that as you do the research, it inspires more ideas? Oh my gosh, yes. And Rick Bradley says, if you've not read Marvin's Night Out, shame on you, but I still have a couple copies. I can send you one this Saturday. Message your address if you want one. I might even sign it for you. I think you should take him up on it. It's a good book. I read it recently. I finally read it, and it was good. It's seriously good. And Nick Tucker, Damien, that is my plan. I have about 13 to 15 partial stories / nonfiction / games, and here I am thinking of another one for you. Darn me. And William Bowe, hi, how you doing? I hope all is well. It is a pleasure to see you, my brother. Hope you are doing well. All is fine as frogs here. And Brian Rahman says, Nick Tucker, I have projects planned for the next 10, 15 years, and the projects are growing, but as far as yearly releases, I try to keep it as realistic as possible, putting out 3 to 4 books. That is, and for an indie comic guy, that's pretty spectacular. Well, you see some people that, for whatever reason, can't put out more than 1 a year. You and Luke Stone and Eric Hawkins, you and Mike Jimmy, you guys are titans, seriously. And William Bowe says, hope all is well. It is well with us, sir, and we hope all is well with you, good friend. And my work in progress today, if I recall everything, says Clippy Fleming, is currently running at a writing and drawing a kid's book, part 2, 3 science fiction novels, 2 plays, a recreation of an LP cover, my book about New York, and another about my life in 1977, and some portraits, plus many more ideas that need fleshing out. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not getting fewer ideas. That's my problem. I do want to get through the Volcana trilogy in the next couple of years. I want to get Aquatic out. Then I'm probably moving more into shorter books, just to get more volume out there. But and definitely want to get back to the Terrors. Man, I'm so excited for you guys to read that thing. I'm so happy with how it's going, and I'm getting some good feedback on Patreon. And if you want to read the something like the first 27 chapters, and I'm going to release another one next week or so. Sign up for my Patreon page at patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And Rick Riley says that was mainly for Mr. Rodman. Not literally, only have 2 copies left in my possession, but anyone else can get their own copy on Amazon. One moment, and I'll post me off a page. And not counting images, 3D renders, and at least 1 graphic novel, says Nick Tucker. And Glimby Fleming is finishing his Kirby book, Hatch 2, and Comics Unlimited. There we go. And rewatched the original Dune last weekend. Sting in a loincloth the size, says Molly Daniels. Oh, not a dry thigh in the house, I'm telling you. And Fan's self, yeah, I understand that. Sting is a pretty boy. He really is. He's aging well, too. Rick Bradley says go to this address for his Amazon author page. From there, you can grab copies of The Nightmare Collective, yay. Marvin's Night Out, the award-winning Pulp Reality #1, and the Tales of the Weird and Strange. And that's the thing. I'm going through a thing now where I'm finally reading the anthologies I'm in. And I finally read The Nightmare Collective from cover to cover. And because before I'd only read your story and mine, and I knew how mine ended. But I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I've been in a couple of anthologies where I'm like, oh God, couldn't you find someone else? And another thing I've got coming out, although my part is done. the third part to the Subterranean Blue Grotto essay series on Batman. The third book will be out probably the first quarter, early second quarter of 2022. And I have an article in there on the final appearance of Louis the Lilac. And and Jim Beard was quite pleased with it. So it is always good to get your editor's approval. So anyway, check out the work of Rick Bradley. He is a super, super talent. And once you've read any of our books, leave us a review, even if it's a bad one. That is very true. Even bad reviews help us. We learn from them, and it feeds the algorithms on Amazon. John Celestri, good to see you, brother. I'm using the Book of Job as my inspiration for Bloodwing Angel Chronicles. I think that portion of the Bible is public domain. Yeah, it's been a few millennia since the authors have died. So yeah, it's beyond 80 years. So it is global. Uh, and yeah, you're in good hands here, John. I'd even feel safe being your legal representative if you were ever taken to court by the original authors. Okay. And Brian Robbins says, "Oh goodness, yes, Brian. The more I read Lovecraft, the more ideas I have for these stories, and it makes me feel good that that's exactly what HPL would have wanted. He wanted people to use his work freely and honestly. I think that's why his universe and mythos become so legendary and true." Some authors are like that. There's a satirist from the 50s and 60s whose music I love named Tom Lehrer, Lehrer. Go to YouTube and find his stuff. It is hilarious that he wrote this stuff on the 50s and 60s issues. He wrote about topics of the day. And he also has a very macabre Charles Addams kind of humor to himself, too. I Hold Your Hand in Mine is a very funny and macabre song. Basically, it's the only part of her that still exists. So, things like the Masochism Tango, National Brotherhood Week, with some stuff I really could get canceled for if I sang it here. But anyway, about a year ago, he has a website, and he basically said, all of this stuff is copyrighted. But he put the sheet music and the lyrics to all of his works and said, because Tom's getting up there. He said, basically, we're going to keep this up for a couple of years. Download everything you can. Use it however you want. He said, because it is copyrighted, I can't really, it's too laborious to uncopyright it. But I want to see what you guys do with it. I want to see you play with the toys. And whatever you do, I won't prosecute you. You have my word. And, there is some hilarious stuff. So, Brian, you would love it. It's our sense of humor, buddy. And Head Slap says, Molly Dales also have to write a beach story for Vincennes Writers Go to the Beach. Antho draft is due in June. Yeah, and I've got one anthology, like I said, a major anthology, so to speak, for Stormgate Press in the second quarter, I think it's going to be. And plus, I've been invited to write to contribute to a possible line of books dealing with a character. I can't say anything about the character except that it's a public domain character now. And it's going to be fun. Ace Bonnie, how you doing? And Brian's Milkshake brings the stream to the yard. That's right. All the boys love it. That's right. I didn't feel like putting on my shirt today, so I just threw on the hoodie. So anyway, and please check out the StreamYard show on the StreamYard YouTube channel every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. They have a weekly giveaway where you can get things like the StreamYard plushie of the StreamYard duck, one of these really comfortable hoodies, and a pillow, the StreamYard pillow, as well as coffee cups and stuff like that. Plus, they sell some of the stuff on StreamYard. Plus, we recommend StreamYard as your broadcasting software of choice. Brian Rodman, good to have you here, Ace, as always. Brian Rodman says, and since you're here, check out what I'm up to over at brianrodman.com. We've got comics and blogs and merch for all your spooky and silly needs. Also, this year, I'll be launching a merch-only design. More on that later. I love hearing that. And 3.5 books to read before I get to Pulp Reality 2. Yeah, and I've got to read all of Pulp Reality 1 and 2. I just started reading what is it? Metahumans versus the Ultimate Evil. I haven't read all the stories in there. I want to get that done. And Malicious Mysteries. Basically, here's a problem. Like I said, the first anthology I was in, there were a couple of not really good stories, and I could have done better too. I was really, really raw then. But anyway, I was switching to nonfiction as opposed to or switching to fiction as opposed to the nonfiction I had been doing. I'm still happy with the stories, but wouldn't mind a crack at rewriting them now. But it was a long way from Sandestein. But anyway, and that's not even counting the book that's in my locker at the evening job. But yeah. Like I said, I'm rereading, or I'm reading rather, all the stories in Metahumans versus the Ultimate Evil. I'm very proud of that story in there. It was a superhero western. Think the Flash as a gunfighter, okay? And there's twists and turns in it, and my editor's happy with me, so yay. Anyway, Cindy Cap. Well, hello there, Cindy Cap. How are you? And we need to plug Cindy Cap's Animal Eye comic and Brian Rodman's Nebulizer and Luke Stone's Hybrids and BKM's Everything. Yeah, you'll never hear me talking about my stuff, right? So anyway, but yeah, that's what this is about. This is what this is about. And it's promoting each other and making sure that we tell about each other's work so that the people that we have in our outer circles get a chance to see what you guys are doing. So that's why I love sharing your stuff. All right. So Cindy Cap says, that's just Ducky. That's me on Smashwords. Thank you, Cindy. CKOEPB.com for a great website redesigned by Damien Waldron, who did a superior job with it. And I also recommend another one he did that I'm really proud of, risingtide.pub. But anyway, check out CKOEPB.com and please sign up for her monthly newsletter. It is always great. Brian Rahman says, copyright works is so important, but I love the fact that eventually my work will be free to use for whoever wishes. I want my stories and characters to be kept in context and in my own control for now, but when I'm old and gray, I'd love to see others be inspired and use my work to build on their own. Well, I'm old and gray, and I like having the control. I mentioned that, a few years ago, right after Volcana was published, I had somebody contact me and say, well, we're going to do a book series, or we're going to do a book, and we're going to include Volcana. And I said, fine. I'll send you over the paperwork, for permission. They're like, well, what do you mean permission? I said, one, I'm going to get paid for it. Two, I want control over what you do with it. I don't want you screwing it up so my book becomes valueless. I barely knew this person, in fact. They're like, oh. Then I contacted them like 2 weeks later because I hadn't heard anything. I said, well, how's that anthology go? Well, we decided to give up on it. And it sounded like nobody else wanted them to use their characters either. So stay in control. So, but no, that's the thing. It's like I tell people, Brian, that if it weren't for public domain, we would never have West Side Story or Forbidden Planet. Those are two works of Shakespeare adapted, one for modern, then contemporary times, the other one for science fiction. So yeah. And when is the next Pulp Reality coming out? Nick, number 3, I think has just hit Amazon, and 4 will be in the new year. Oh, I've also been told I'm writing a story for it too. So anyway, Cindy Caps' book set will quack you up. That's me, Sandestein. Check out Sandestein. The holidays are never over. If you've got a copy of Sandestein, A Tale of Holiday Horror, told with much inappropriate humor, it's my first paperback novel, and you will love it. I do. And Kara has her Unstable Frequency Kickstarter watching on Tuesday, January 11th. I saw that. I'm gonna have to get in on that because I love Kara. She's incredibly creative. She is great. I saw her the last time we were at a show together. This was a couple of years ago in Springfield, Illinois. I saw her coloring a comic page, and I'm not going to say what she used, but it wasn't like standard like Doc Martin dyes or anything. I'm like, wait a minute, that's genius. And she's like, yeah, I just discovered this. I'm like, I never would have thought of it. That's brilliant. So anyway, she's brilliant and lovely. And I keep her 52 card pinup close to me for continual inspiration. Shut up, people. Anyway, so someone who shouldn't shut up is CKOEPP.com. Cindy kept this year's fun. Check out Nicholas Anthony Talker on his page there on Amazon. You need big stumpy robots. You need pickup games. You need some great fiction. He's the man. Molly Daniels says, I need to get better lighting in my house to read Nebulizer or hold it under a magnifying glass, but love the art. You'll love the story, too. It has a couple pages that might just choke you up in a good way. And off to a magical start. That's John Pica. John B. Pica has a great Back of the Cereal Box Network on YouTube. Check out his variety of great shows. Also, he has johnpica.com for all of his activities, and he's an activity kind of guy. He's my, yes, we got that, Ace. We are going to keep an eye on Kara. Maybe we'll have to have her on the show some morning to promote that. I don't think anyone would mind that. And the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, they always have a good time. Check it out. It's a really, really grand show. Check out a week ago Tuesday when the Comic Book Spectrum people were on there. It was a fun show. And Nerd Culture for great fun. Check out Ryan Permission's page on YouTube. And from the Small Press Publishers, staying ahead of the curve every Saturday night, part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central. And off to the races with Amy Hale. She's got your next favorite book, The Short and Sassy Storyteller, at authoramyhale.com. Mike Jimmy Lorsha de Bruin says, one of the biggest compliments you could give my team and I is thinking up a story or creature for life on Korra. I love hearing them. It's just my sandbox, but always feel free to play in it. Well, that's one of the things. One of the books I am going to get out this year is my Doc Saga anthology, and I do apologize to everyone who contributed. I got sidetracked badly. My fault. But we are going to get that book out this year. You guys are going to be in it, and that's one of those things where I've got people lined up to want to work in it, and we will put out, eventually an open call for authors. So anyway, let's get back to Cindy Kemp here. She's gearing up for the next QuadCon comic and toy show. Cool Stuff series. So check out Nicola Jade with her Warriors trilogy and working hard on her fourth book of the trilogy. Anyway, check it out. Some great talents there. And Nick Talker says, I realize that it's been a while since I plugged my works. The Simple Sword is a plain English introduction to classical fencing because martial arts are for everyone. And check out his show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, the Historical Fencing Guild. You will love that show. He is so good to watch on there. He really is very upbeat. And sledding down the snow-covered hill, there's Teresa Dunn. And I think she's had enough of cold weather after her mishap yesterday with her chimney flue. So, no, it didn't flue. It ignited. Anyway, she's warmer today, I'm glad to say. And definitely check out the work of Teresa Dunn, Poetry Expressions, Volume 1 and 2 on Amazon. Historical Fencing Guild is learn how to nope like a pro. Definitely. Just say no when someone wants to ram a sword through you. But check them out every Friday, like I said, at 8 p.m. on the Historical Fencing Guild, part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And yay for Doc Saga Anthologies. Chameleons Want to Sing. Definitely. And I loved your story. I really did. I just gotta get the dang thing edited now and put into shape. And City Caps' Comic Related Madness is always ready for more CromCon the last weekend of every month. Definitely worth checking out. And Dr. John is on this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on Facebook. That is the best news I've heard all day. Check out Dr. John, the original gangsta. He is on teaching you how to draw and be creative and just be awesome, just like him. John, thank you and appreciate you being here. He's part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, too. And getting ready to hybridize, LukeStoneStudios.com. Check that site out for one of the best series out there. Also, get their trade paperback. I happen to have a story in there along with Eric Hawkins. Eric has 2 stories. I have 1. And it's a fun series. It really is. And bears love powerful stories. You can get that powerful story at bearpublications.com, where you can also pick up Animal Eye, Cindy Kemp's latest novel, as well as Cindy Kemp's very first wonderful comic book based on that novel, Animal Eye number 1. Number 2 is on its way out. Number 3 is just being written right now. And she's an incredible talent. Please check out Cindy's work. All right. She does so much for us. And for people who want to promote their campaigns or work on Amazon, Don Chin will be live in 50 or so minutes with an open mic promotion stream. Interesting. Is that on YouTube or Facebook or where? And Take on Zombies in the New Year with Eric S. Hawkins. Also, yeah, check him out on Comixology. He is awesome. You can get first reissues of The Zombieful World of Oz there. And also check out Stone Door Studios on Facebook, and he is awesome. Let's see what else. And also on Comixology, don't forget Jody McPhee and Grant Lankard has work there. So clean sweep. Get your Nevermorian comics now. And Taking the Sky this year, that's Renmelian. And poor Renmelian, Anna Maria and her husband are sick right now. And she's got compromised immunity. So please be thinking kind thoughts about Anna Maria and Val Salvaggio, okay? Like I say, it's getting closer. I'm getting a sense of foreboding. But we got to keep fighting. We can't stop. We have a world to win. All of us. We've got to make the world better through our art. As Harlan Ellison said, we have a holy chore ahead of us. So, anyway, Cindy gets to start the new year with more angels, and he's an angel too with that devilish smile. That's BrianRobin.com. Check out his work and check out his new blog. It is fascinating. I'm loving the contemporary faith issues he tackles. I really have been digging it, Brian. I really have. I hope you're listening. And also, if you want to check out risingtide.pub, where you can find a link to all my stuff, including broadcasts, books, comics, everything. And Storm the Gates this year with Stormgate Press. Charles F. Millhouse has got a lot of work coming up in 2022. I've been hearing some of it. I'm excited for what's going on. And not only there's 25 other letters, Cindy. So I think somebody hit enter too soon. And William Quinton, how's it going? It is going well, my friend. And also, check out the brand new book from William Quinton. That looks good. That looks seriously good. It's a spooky looking book there. Please put in some links, William. Let's get some eyes in front of it. And not only Animal Eye, but other cool stuff at ArtStation with the artist Roll Cruz, who is crazy talented. And I'm telling you, Cindy and Roll do incredible work. It's like the joy of seeing a great writer and a great artist mesh and become more than the sum of their parts. I see that with like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, or Chris Claremont and John Byrne, Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum. That on their own, they're incredibly talented, but when they get together, there's just some sort of synergy that just lights up the page. And also Help the Hurting all year long. Victoria Adams, she's an incredibly powerful writer who her life has been touched by tragedy, and she has written some really good stuff about it. And sure, yeah, William, hashtag always promote, brother. It's Reign of Ages on Kickstarter. Great art by Nick Capone, edited by Alexia Veldhusen, and I know I've mispronounced that, with some fantastic cover options. That looks good. I've definitely got a reminder in on that. So, got a budget, As I was saying earlier, I got in touch with my wife when she saw my 2020 Kickstarter budget. She was like, "We're not having that happen again." Anyway, Cindy Cap says Trolls are heroes too, and SL Roland can prove it. Check out SL Roland on Amazon. You'll be glad you did. And let's see. I want to take care of one business here. I think Carl probably did it. Yep, we got it. Thank you, Carl. Thank you for taking care of me. Appreciate that. And let's see. And Cindy Cap says 2 anthologies out and more on the way. Yield Dragon Books Meet the Dragons. And I think there's a Cindy Cap story in there somewhere. So you owe it to yourself to get that. You give yourself a post-Christmas treat if you would. And William, it's always my pleasure, man. You know you can. You know you can. And Rick Bradley says, "Oh, and how can I forget R&D Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming from the point of view of an old school gamer and the view of a younger gamer, and see how those views differ, or they might actually overlap. You never know. Come join author Rick Bradley and his son Donovan as they discuss gaming throughout the years. Come ask any and all questions about the topic, and let's have some fun exploring the huge world of gaming." That sounds like a fun game, and that's going to be part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Brand new show coming up soon. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. And Rick, we do have to get some night together where we can go, or some day, or actually a night where we can walk through a StreamYard together. So anyway, we have caught up with the comments. And so I'm going to run some errands for Cookie. I think she's still asleep. So anyway, we're going to take care of that. And thank you all for understanding. I appreciate that. And Cindy Cap says, and that's the end of my break. Don't forget to tip your host. Thank you. And bring Cookie home. Review books. It's good for you. Seriously, when you read a book on Amazon or Goodreads, please leave a review because it helps us with the algorithms. Even a bad review on your part is helpful. It really does. And Rick Raz says, yeah, he's a lot like me, so there's a big chance he'll agree with me a lot. I did mold him. And 10Q, well, you're welcome, 10Q. And everyone take care and stay creative. You too, Rick Bradley. Thank you for being here, brother. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. And good show. Everyone have a great day. Thank you, Carl Wisman. Thank you for helping, too, with our Russian friends. Greatly appreciated, as always. So we are going to call it here, and we're going to say thank you to everyone for being a part of the show and being so incredible. I want to thank the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network for being part of this too. And please check out our other shows, and please give our Facebook page a like. Also, thank you to our Patreon subscribers. And if you would like to see your name here as one of our subscribers and getting stuff in return for it, stuff people like, I'm glad to say, please check us out at www.patreon.com. And of course, we want to thank today's sponsor, Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. For a great book cover, check out the work of Jeffrey Hayes. Go to his Plasma Fire Graphics Facebook page, and then pop on over to his internet page, Plasma Fire Graphics. I'm looking at my web address and it's throwing me off. Check out plasmafiregraphics.com. Ask for his rates and see some other of his great work. He is amazing. You'll love working with him. It's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And let's see, and the compliments come in. Brian Robbins says, Brian, it was great spending the morning with you. Love you, my friend. I love you too. I really do, Brian. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, brother. And I hope you feel better. I really do. And see you, Brian. I will see you soon, Glenn, with some results. And feed Cookie and laugh like the shadow. Who knows when Brian will get his editing done and how many tears Glenn B. Fleming will shed? The shadow knows. Wait, what do you mean I misspelled that, Brian? Brian, I didn't misspell it. I've been doing it for 80 years. Brian, put that down. Put that editing pencil down. Damn it. Anyway, so, and don't die, feed Cookie. That's a part of the agenda, my brother. Thank you, my friend, for being here. And later's all, thank you for being here, Don. Mwah. Hope you have a great day. And bring Cookie home. That's job one. Job one. Molly Daniels, bye all. Have a great day and stay warm, Brian. I promise you too, sweetheart. Mwah. And we'll see you when you get up here. And hashtag bring Cookie home. Damien, we got to bring you and Lauren home, period. And from the Waldron collection, the lighting doesn't make that really nice. But anyway, delicious coffee. Thank you, sir. And let's see. And Damien Walburn, have a great day, you mad genius. You. I'm not mad. I'm just annoyed some days. But anyway, love you, Damien. I hope you're coming along on that artwork. Hope you're having fun with that script. Anyway, folks, hope you have fun today. Hope you have a great day. And as always, thank you for being here. And don't forget, Comic Book Spectrum will be on tomorrow night, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. The guys will all be reviewing books and comic books and talking about the funny book industry. And it's always a good time, whether you like comic books or not. We are the comic book show for people that don't read comic books. We get a lot of compliments on that. And don't forget, also, we'll have a brand new episode of Nevermind the Furthermore on Friday morning to close out your work week with you. And we'll have some fun then, too. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and hope you have a great day. Batten down the hatches. The cold weather's coming for a couple days, and then we're going to get to a little bit of warmth. But if you ever need anything, reach out, people. I'm here. And we love you. and we're grateful for your support as always. Please go to risingtide.pub for more information on the stuff I do. So anyway, thank you all for being here. And as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night on Comic Book Spectrum on Friday morning on a brand new, fresh episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. Take care, everyone. Happy Hump Day, one and all.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide broadcast network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Southwest of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelors Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelors Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
Stormgate Press presents Pulp Reality 2. 10 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Packed with pirates, private eyes, aliens, automatons, villains, and vigilantes. High adventure, wondrous fantasy, mysterious horror, and startling science fiction await. Pick up a copy and be transported to astonishing places and travel to amazing times in the golden age pulp style. This is Pulp Reality 2. Available now on Amazon.com. From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho! Santa-Stein, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.